Both of these teams hunting their second wins of the campaign, but it is the man of the moment we're going to hear from now. Game number 300. Lee Broxham, and he's with the man he played alongside more than anyone else, Archie Thompson.
Lee Broxham, mate. Amazing achievement, 300 games. What's the feeling been during the week and especially tonight?
Yeah, the week's been amazing. You know, the supporters, the club, family, friends have really got around it, made it really special.
And would you have thought 10 years ago that you'd be a cult hero and then playing your 300th game tonight?
You're a big cult hero than me, mate. But no, you don't think about that type of stuff. So it's been an amazing journey and I'm super happy.
And you must be thrilled to be able to share it with the little ones down there?
Yeah, it's amazing. So come on then. You want to come up?
Mate, enjoy.
Thanks, Arch.
Well done, mate. Good luck.
What a night for the family. From the kitman and apprentice in season 1 to history-making milestone man in season 15. The 31-year-old becomes the first man to play 300 games for the one A-League club. Wife Sam there to share it, and the triplets as well. Miller, Sonny and Billy. 100 games for each of the kids. He's played in 5 grand finals, winning 3 of those. The only 2 losses in the big games came in penalty shootouts. He's played in each and every position pretty much, particularly in that defensive line. Left back, right back, centre half, and his preferred midfield. And tonight he will play in the heart of defence. Debuted against the Glory in Perth, January 7, 2007, just days before his 19th birthday. And here he is, the 31-year-old father of 3, making it game number 300. "51 games as captain as well. Second all-time in the A-League with 131 wins, second only to Alex Wilkinson. What a servant for the club. And now has to be the calming dad. There's a lot of noise out there for the youngsters to endure. And of course, the Australian football community in mourning today after the passing of former Socceroos coach Pim Verbeek. Moment's applause for him right now.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's check the team news. And Robbie Cruz is the headline act. He makes his first start since returning to the A-League after sub-appearances the last 2 weeks. Paulson and Cam Sober return to the 11-2, with Brown dropping to the bench, while Deng and Rue miss out with illness and injury. And just minutes before kickoff, Anthony Lesiotis steps into the right-back role. It was going to be Rue 90 minutes ago. It was going to be Lawton 10 minutes ago, but Lesiotis got the late call. 2 changes for the Glory, with coach Tony Popovich handing 18-year-old son Christian his starting debut, while Alex Grant returns from suspension. Julbic and Chianese drop to the bench. Bruno Fornaroli, 50 A-League goals, the fastest ever to that number, and 29 of those goals were scored at this venue. He was a Melbourne City player, of course. There is the teenager. A bundle of nerves, no doubt. Did score in this state, his first A-League goal, an equaliser against Western United a few weeks back now. This is why it's a desperation game. Both of these teams outside looking in so far as the top 6 is concerned, but 3 points for either side in a couple of hours' time, and they will propel themselves into the top 6. So they rally around the man of the moment. His top 2 highlights in those previous 299 games. The 2007 grand final. It was his first win as an A-League player. Lee Broxham, just 31 minutes off the bench in that game, and the 2015 decider here against Sydney FC when he rounded off the 3-0 win. Robbie Cruz dazzled with an assist last week in Adelaide, but they lost 3-1 to mount the pressure on Marco Kurtz. Countdown is over. Away we go in Friday night football, and Lee Broxham gets an early touch in the heart of defence there, Andy Harper.
Yeah, g'day, Speedy. A really big night for both clubs here. Lee Broxham, an enormous servant to the league and the club. Pivotal job in the centre of defence against an attack of such potency, at least potentially. And with 2 wounded warriors, can we call them that, Speedy? Needing 3 points and an abundance of talent on show. I'm sure this one promises to be a ripping game of football.
Andrew Durante was the first into the 300 club in the A-League. He did that with Newcastle and Wellington. Lee Broxham the first to do it with 1 club, and there were a few times along the journey where he thought he might have to move on. Under Ernie Merrick at one stage, under Ange Postecoglou, but he continued to make himself indispensable. Trickery down that left-hand side from Fornaroli. Early test there for Lesiotis, playing in that right back role. 3rd man up. A case of that for the youngster today. Now Castro, frequent scorer on his travels at this venue. Fired back in by Kilkenny. Toivonen, fantastic header to Kamsoba. Naboot trying to burn up on his right-hand side. Pass from Kamsoba not good enough, and Grant was good enough to play it out off Naboot.
Well, great pace in the early minute. Diogo Castro with a magnificent opportunity to play Meredith in down the left-hand side inside the penalty area. And strangely, the great Spaniard Erd, Victory springing upfield, and then it was Kamsoba who looked, compared with last week, Speedy, a little hesitant on that breakaway. A good opportunity that did open up for Melbourne Victory.
I wonder when the Perth Glory knew that young Lesiotis was going to be lining up in the right-back role. And they've already had a go down that side, and Fornaroli is hoping to get the ball to test him out in an unfamiliar role. Used to seeing him play in midfield in his 9 previous A-League appearances.
Well, how long before kick-off, Speedy, was Lesiotis in?
I found out about 8 minutes ago.
Not a lot of time for Perth to make any particular rearrangements. And the mail between the end of warm-up and 8 minutes before kick-off to Brandon Lawton.
Well, it must have been an injury concern for Lawton.
Slipped in the showers or something.
And when the Victory put out their team sheet on social media, it was Storm Roux playing right back. That's why Lesiotis is 3rd man up, and here he is being turned inside out by Meredith and committing the foul. He's going to have his hands full, you sense.
Yeah, equally, however, Speedy is a good young talent. It's a great opportunity. In some ways, his mental preparation, which till about 10 minutes ago was a mile away from starting a football match, might enable him to just have that little bit of freshness. Might be nervous otherwise with a longer build-up. He's certainly capable of doing the job, the young fellow.
Demanding it was young Popovic. Found Franjic one day. Back out in front of Ivan Franjic for that pass favouring Traore, and he played it out off his opponent. Been a bit of flip-flopping between Traore and Corey Brown on that left-hand side this season. Traore getting the nod this evening.
Speedy, I'd suggest it's less flip-flopping and it's just making sure Traore gets enough miles and minutes
Was running some interference there, very effective interference from Franjic. Open up space for one day. Meredith bombing on down that left-hand side. He was spotted playing in this city as a 16-year-old by a Derby County scout, James Meredith, and now playing as a professional in this city for the first time since then, after all that time in the UK with the likes of York City, Bradford City, and Millwall. The number 8 down that left-hand side for the Glory. Olsen, the Danish international. Back to Donachie, who has had more completed passes than anyone else this season. Now Broxham giving Cruz one to chase, but once he saw it skim off this slick surface, he had to give up on that chase.
Never a chance. Off the boot, never a chance. Good idea, however. I'd be looking to unleash Robbie Cruz in behind as much as possible. It just needed a little bit more of a dink on that rather than driving the pass.
Marco Kurtz under some pressure. No wins at Amy Park yet. 3 losses, 3 draws. No wins against Tony Popovich either. 2 draws, 2 losses. He could end a drought in a couple of categories here at Amy Park, where the Victory play 4 of the next 5. The only game not here for the rest of the year is a derby against Western United next week in Geelong. So they don't leave the state until the game against the Mariners on Jan 12. Big opportunity to get on a roll with this run of home fixtures. Kilkenny. New Meredith will be able to push onto that one. Chance to run at Lesiotis. Coughed it up to Basher. Away by Thomas. Again, winning the early territory battle, the Perth Glory. When you look at the completed passes in the attacking third, Perth Glory players are 1, 2 and 3 in that category, and we're getting an early insight here because they're pushing the Victory back. Now the home team are trying to push up the pitch a little. One day. There's a second go to Castro. Franjic will get there. Easily dealt with by Basher, and Popovich just catching Cam Sober late, apologising to ensure that he doesn't pick up the early booking.
Well, make no mistake, he's on debut, Christian Popovich, but playing that defensive midfielder, his main job, particularly after watching last week, is to ensure that Elvis Cam-Sober doesn't break away in that sort of transition moment.
His brother played in the youth game, which was a curtain raiser to this one. Won by the Victory. Traore did well to drop anchor there as Broxham fired it his way. Now Donachie, not used to being outside the top 6. He's played finals in each and every year he's played in the A-League. 8 previous seasons. Fair share of grand finals as well, with first Brisbane and then the Victory. Broxham again with speed to Traore, the Ivory Coast international. Franjic kept it away from Cruz. 2 Socceroos head-to-head down this near side. Good advantage from Alex King, the referee. Perth able to switch it up to Meredith. Broxham stepping up. Read the play well. Cruz strong on the ball. And the boot may have strayed. In fact, he strayed so far that the assistant was confident enough to put the flag up very early. And Andrew Memarakis doing his best Andy Harper / Merv Hughes on that far side.
Well, good touch from Cruz. Nabbout just went that fraction early.
He is Melbourne victory through and through, and they love him. DJ Brox at one stage. He rocked the mohawk in the Magilton era. He's had his fair share of hairdos. Still 31 years of age. I wonder what that final figure might be.
Well, Archie Thompson has tipped him to be a 400 gamer. It's really 4 complete seasons from here. Takes him to 35 plus finals. So well within his capacity, you'd imagine.
Again, look how far the victory have dropped here. Economides. Can go back to one day. No one's getting near one day, are they? He's got plenty of time on the ball. Back to Franjic via Popovic. Castro, normally creative in these situations, and it required intervention from Broxham.
That's a great stretch from Broxham. Very patient. The Perth build-up. It's such a hallmark of their play that in you know what I'm sort of increasingly dubbing a transition league. Perth are one team that actually do boss teams around their own penalty area regularly.
Here's the variation. They've got an overload after that corner. Cruz, did he play it out off Castro? He doesn't get the nod. Another corner. Castro giving Franjic a little tip on how they should have worked that 3-on-1 / 3-on-2. The height of Vutric could be a factor here over him, and skimmed off Donachie. Counter-attack potential here. Nabbout out in front of Campsober. Cruz through the middle. Young Lesiotis back post. Robbie Cruz keeps his feet back to Elvis. And look who got back there after taking the corner. Kilkenny in the road. Here's Toivonen. Ulla Toivonen, and Reddy got everything behind him.
Well, after being camped in their own penalty area and then defending the corner, that's the exciting potential of this team on the counter-attack. Great burst initially from Nabbout. Campsober down the left-hand side on the end of Nabbout's pass to Cruz. 3 very athletic and exciting names to call in open play, and then the ball falls to Captain Toivonen, and everyone for that moment thinks maybe.
Already got 5 goals in a struggling side this season, and now he's got Cruz and Nabbout on either side of him. He's also got 2 assists, so involved in all 7 goals so far for the Navy Blue. Thomas will find Cruz. One day thought that was going out for a throw-in. Now Basher able to turn and face forward. Likewise Paulson. That's a nothing ball though. Pressure applied by Fornaroli.
Had panicked. Jakob Paulson really feel comfortable at all in possession. Then it was a pretty hot potato. Let's not make any mistake. But 36 years of age, 35 caps for Denmark's national team.
Classy from the Swiss-born Albanian international Midjan Basha. And Traore, Cruz maintaining the width for the victory. Look at the run from Campsober, played in by Cruz, and they'll get a corner out of it.
Possibility that Campsober there cuts the ball back to Paulson. That's certainly what Jakob Paulson is suggesting, but to me like there might have been Perth players in the vicinity to cut it out. But very clever again from Robbie Cruz. Hasn't he started well? Very intelligent play. Good burst from Campsober. Just couldn't find that telling pass at the end of it, Elvis.
Those victory fans bouncing around behind the goal, which their team attacks in this first half. Works short to Cruz. Nabbout climbed shoulder to shoulder with Fornaroli, and it breaks the way of Kilkenny. Donachie trying to slow him down. Risky ball. Basher got there. Ball and all challenge against Popovic.
That's brilliant from Basher. Kilkenny did so well with that little reverse pass also. That was the tonic from Basher for Melbourne victory. Really nice, strong tackle.
Castro, statistically, still the most evasive player in the A-League, and he showcased a little bit of the skill there. And the free kick given up by Cruz against the Economides. Clever ball around the corner again, Kilkenny. Economides goes wider still to Meredith. He got in a boot on the deck, accepted the invitation. Fornaroli wouldn't quite sit for him as another victory player hit the deck in the form of Donachie. Perth Glory 7th, the victory 10th on the A-League ladder at the start of this round. Perth have played one game less. Already had the bye. Oh, what about the flick from Castro to Fornaroli? Now Franjic. All the way back to Kilkenny. Not too far away from picking out the top corner, the former Melbourne City man.
That's beautiful football from Perth. One touch, clever, intricate, positive, proactive. The cutback from Franjic, a nice option. And Kilkenny with the first timer. And not that far away from Lawrence Thomas's goal.
Meredith certainly enjoying himself. Picked up by Popovic to fill the void left by Jason Davidson, who headed overseas after being such a success in the Premier's plate-winning campaign. Donachie asking for options. Cruz presented and was held off by Hyundai. And terrific refereeing again. Alex King spotting the foul. Going too bad in the Movember Stakes either. A Queensland ref. Now Bronson. Trying to find Cruz again. Flag staying down for Robbie Cruz. Decent touch, got into the byline. Traore. No one at the back post. Not the delivery that Toivonen or Naboot was after. Let's get down to Archie Thompson at pitch level.
Thanks, Brenton. Yes, obviously with the late change of Lesiotis going out to the right wing, I'd like to see Economides probably drift over that side of the pitch, purely to the fact just to test the young boy, because we all know the quality of Economides, and up against Adama, who's obviously a seasoned professional. I'd like to see him drift over to the left side.
I'm not sure Lesiotis wants to see any of them, though, does he? So Castro, Fornaroli, Economides.
Takes him pick.
Pretty hot front three.
Yeah, it is. It is, but I like the style of Archie's thinking. And don't imagine for a moment that it's not flashing through Popovic's mind. Coach Popovic, that is. Maybe when the time's right.
What about the front threes going around in the A-League for fans to enjoy? What the Victory put out there tonight, what Sydney FC are doing, what Melbourne City are doing.
Yeah, it's been a terrific start to the season on that discussion. Brenton, some very exciting football being played. Defences really having to earn their money, some of them buckling under the strain.
The advantage was signalled. It was a crunching challenge from Meredith on Lesiotis, and even though it was a crunching challenge, the referee said, "I'll hold off on that yellow and give it now." And James Meredith goes into the book for dumping young Lesiotis.
Well, here's the tackle. Meredith, whack. It's only a little bit late, Brenton. Only a little bit. And then the advantage played, it falls to the feet of Cam Sobra, who just showed us in a glimpse the danger he brings.
And throw-in was taken too early. Caused some confusion when it was passed straight back to Meredith out of play. The referee hadn't awarded the restart whistle yet. Backheel attempted to an offside, Robbie Cruz. No goals in the first 20 minutes, and the Victory are used to that against the Perth Glory. In the first 15 minutes, they haven't scored against them in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's been a pretty sharp start to the game. The pre-game shower, making the surface greasy, nice and cool for the players. They've responded with great intensity.
Castro, here comes Franjic, and diving in like quite a few Victory players are doing, and blocking the cross was Traore.
That's the moment, though. And Franjic, inexplicably, Brent, with this combination with Franjic and Castro, he's got a sense that Traore's sliding in there. So you don't hit the ball flat, you chip it. You got to chip it, you got to beat that. The anticipating sliding tackle. Popovic, Coach Popovic, just went off his nut in response to that selection of technique from Franjic.
Kilkenny, high riser at the back post was Grant, and he thought he headed that onto Jakob Poulsen. Goal kick was given.
Grant rose nicely. He's got a case. But honestly, you'd need laser eyes to pick that one up.
It's Nico. Cruz nearly took it past the couple. Some great one-on-one battles emerging all over the pitch. That's a kind bounce for Toivonen, trying to slip it straight through for Naboot.
What a great read by Alex Grant, though, Speedy.
Good awareness by multiple players. Naboot to make the run, Toivonen to try and feed him, and Grant to cut it out. Out off Broxham for another corner. That count is mounting.
It's just getting a little bit too frequent from a Melbourne Victory viewpoint. And Perth almost at will, and pretty much, it seems, with every possession, are getting up to that penalty area and finding a release ball into the penalty area. If not directly in, then just on the edge for a cross. It's a worry for Marco Kurtz, I'd say. Perth really building some terrific pressure here.
Oh, Kilkenny, surgical precision. They couldn't cap it off, but what a pass that was to Castro from the corner. Maybe the cue for that one was to just chat to the assistant in the corner, and Castro knew what was coming, because Kilkenny had a fair chin wag when he got to the corner. Now Naboot takes it in his stride, having a go down the left-hand side, floating. Already was in trouble and had to tip it over at the death. Otherwise, that was floating in for the opener from Andrew Naboot.
Well, it certainly was, Speedy. Safe to say it was an intended cross that was beautifully mishit. But Naboot controls the ball, looking up for Toivonen. That's the target. It nearly worked. That error nearly worked so beautifully for Melbourne Victory. Great recovery from Liam Reddy.
For a goalkeeper, 38 years of age to produce that. He'll be in the 300 club before this season's over, with 7 different clubs. Naboot's free header. He rose on the tight angle and couldn't test Reddy with that one.
Well, makes good ground. It's a really strong position. Angle's good. Sets himself nicely. Probably should do better. Encouraging couple of moments for Andrew Naboot. Testing Liam Reddy's goal twice in quick succession.
Lawrence Thomas playing in the number 0. Normally in the 20, but wearing the 0 3 times throughout this season as part of TAC's drive towards zero road toll that they want to achieve, and they are a game day partner today, the TAC. So good stuff from Lawrence Thomas. Number 0, Lawrence Thomas for the victory. Haven't seen that since the NBL days. Hubs, Paul Kuiper and all that. Kilkenny, no look pass, straight to Toivonen, who goes to Campsober. And did they play it out off Elvis? Yes, they did. Took a long time, talking it over with his assistant before giving the goal kick.
Elvis is wanting VAR on corners now. But here's a live wire. Heavy touch and still, it's almost a foul. If he goes down there, surely it's a foul on the edge of the box. Indeed, why does he need to go down, Brenton? Ref's right there. Defender stretches in, ball's gone, players interfered with. What do we want the guy to have to do cartwheels to accentuate the fact?
Well, he gave Robbie Cruz a free kick earlier when he didn't fall over, so he will give them if he sees them. Didn't see it on that occasion.
Decent leap that by Basher. Jarred his knee on the landing.
And it's Cruz on Economides again that prompts the whistle. And Robbie's got to be careful. The referee's going to pull it back. He wants a chat with a couple of players. Short passing game of the Glory. Grant back from suspension tonight. Certainly solidifying that defence that was opened up by Sydney FC on multiple occasions last week. Economides tried to lay that off for Castro. Pretty tight window and the Victory take it away. Classy ball out. Lightning turn inside from Campsober, but one day was exceptional, helping out young Popovic.
Well, just from Perth's viewpoint, Speedy, this is not really an atypical performance from them this season. It's almost impossible to imagine that they haven't been able to pick up points. They just look so well organised. They're playing very well here tonight, putting a really stern test to Melbourne Victory, who, for their part, I'm really happy to see how dangerous they are, particularly in counter-attack. Robbie Cruz has been a huge addition to this team. Toivonen, classy touches. Campsober's looking dangerous. Game set up really nicely.
Here's Economides. Flicks one in, and well defended by Donachie. Had to get there ahead of Castro. Toivonen tripped up Vutric. And the late whistle determining that Perth would be better off with this free kick, and a card is out for the captain.
Well, Toivonen, unfortunately, just wasn't perfectly placed. Or didn't quite read the flick from Campsober to get the ball to that place, but he's very behind in the challenge. That first angle just showed how off the mark he was.
Wants to debate it after seeing the replay on the big screen. Fouls have been mounting against the hosts. Along the deck to Castro. What's this routine? One day to Meredith. Plenty of white shirts are forward here. It's going to go all the way through to Castro again. Isolated against Traore. Kilkenny already had a crack from there. Castro lifts one. The boot tried to take it away. Grant keeps it in the attacking area. There's the Otis. Lawrence Thomas was talking him through it. They can't clear their lines and maintain possession. The Victory, they're under the pump. Here comes Meredith. Can Perth get some payoff for their territorial dominance? Castro, brilliant play, Fornaroli. Little foot in there from Donachie, did take it away. He just slipped at the wrong time, and then the handball against Cruz, who doesn't debate it, but Marco Kurtz does.
Well, it was a good pick-up by the ref. It's unfortunate for Victory and Cruz because he slipped at the crucial moment.
Sober. That's what the Victory are trying to do when they do get the ball, go quickly on the counter. Even though they are the home team, it's the way they've been set up to tackle the Glory. The boots around Meredith, Toivonen, and the ball did not bend out of play. Can go back to Basher. Toivonen rolls reversed here. So he looks for someone back post. Awkward for Nabbout. No hope to get on the end of that one.
He was. I was watching Andrew Nabbout as that play unfolded. He hit the cross in. It goes to the back stick. He's taken a long time to get back into play action, if I can use the term. And had he even given himself an extra 5 metres with a quicker reaction initially, he's in a good starting position to attack that ball.
But he put his hand up, didn't he? And I think he wanted the ball, one of those slice ones, that he could rise over the top of Meredith and head it home, but he got the curler, didn't he?
But I just think he reduced his options by taking that extra bit of time to get back into consideration.
Nicked by Campsober. Not a bad idea. And because the pass didn't get to Cruz, the referee gives the free kick to the Victory, and the fans feel like they've got one.
Well, they're seeing enough. They're seeing enough to realise what can be built around Elvis Campsober. Robbie Cruz doesn't need any introduction. He's looking fantastic.
Again, clever pass from Elvis. Traore. Pinballing around in the middle. Paulson, first time crack, didn't get hold of it.
That was first time crack, wasn't it? C-R-A-C-K?
Yeah. What did it sound like?
Just checking. I thought he should have taken a touch.
Plenty to go for here for Traore. All the way through. Nabbout is lurking. Cruz has his first A-League goal since 2011. And this front three for the Victory is so talented. Look at them. Toivonen, Cruz and Nabbout. It is a lethal trio. And the Victory lead at Amy Park.
Well, it's a brilliant moment from Robbie Cruz. It's a wicked cross this from Traore, and the Perth Glory defence at 6s and 7s. Nabbout's starting position is a good one there. And they do combine so beautifully. Robbie Cruz with a tap in the end. And his first A-League start in a long time. And what a way to cap your return in front of your home fans. A team that's been battered from pillar to post in the press. Get the lead here against Perth Glory. And it's their star man who delivers.
The 31-year-old with a great history against the Perth Glory. 5 goals in 5 games against them now, including his only career hat-trick. Back into position, no VAR check to worry about. The Victory lead after absorbing so much pressure, and Cruz has got to watch his step. He's given away his fair share of fouls, but he's on the board. Liam Reddy had been targeting his first clean sheet of the season. Had 12 of those in the last campaign, yet to register so far this season. Tony Popovic lost a bit, didn't he? Lowry.
Sporanovic.
Handy players. Nabbout thought he was half a chance. Grant got there first, and Nabbout goes shoulder to shoulder. Shepherded out for that throwing.
Really energised Melbourne Victory. That goal from Robbie Cruz. And it wasn't as though they were looking flat, but they were definitely being pinned in by Glory.
21 A-League goals now for Robbie Cruz, and as mentioned, 5 of those against the Glory. Paulson wins another corner, and Cruz will hope it breaks his way again. The Danish international delivers. Donachie beaten to it by his opposite number, Vutric, who came up hobbling. Paulson, after taking the corner, was back to tidy up on halfway. Now they're passing it around, and there's a bit more confidence about the way that the Victory are going about it. Toivonen the target. Risky ball between the fullbacks, and he did trip up Meredith. Slightest little touch, and you're always going to get the whistle there. Although the Socceroos didn't get the whistle, did they? At the Asian Cup in a similar situation. Popovic trying to go with Kamsova. The Burundi international burned him off briefly. Cruz hunting a double. Toivonen lets it go for the corner.
Well, applause of relief, I'd say, from Tony Popovic on the Perth bench. This is the test that Christian Popovic is going to find increasingly difficult. He rounded up the space nicely, but still then couldn't take Elvis out. But he burned him away, did Elvis, and he's so fast across the ground. And he was really working hard to keep up with Popovic. In the end, he covers the ground but can't stop the entry into the penalty area. And it was a good effort in the end from Cruz to safety for Glory, and no wonder Tony Popovic applauses.
Paulson's delivery again off the thigh of Basher, trying to readjust. Cruz the target again, backing back his Franjic. And Kilkenny will keep it in. Now anywhere will do for Perth. Donachie keeps the Victory right on the front foot. Little dink. Earns a ripple of applause. Now the nutmeg. Cruz. Let it roll to Paulson. And that one was travelling. Needed bodies in the road for Perth, you fancy.
Now, that was a crack. I don't know if Toivonen, did he need to get involved at all, but look, this is Elvis's show. He's really causing havoc. Cruz intelligent touch. And maybe that little contribution from Toivonen not really required, but it was still a good effort from Paulson.
The boot thought he'd seen a handball there, but Toivonen was the one who played it onto the Glory defender. He didn't appeal. VAR will still have a little look at it.
This is a troubling period for Glory now. They can't get out of their own half. That error from the 300 gamer might change things in favour of the visitors.
Economides flicks it away. Donachie saw what was brewing. Now Castro will take on the strike, and Thomas knew where it was bound for.
What a thrilling game this is. What a thrilling game of A-League football. Lawrence Thomas in the end not seriously tested, but Victory really enjoying some supremacy. And then as Broxham carries the ball upfield, he hits a poor pass which is intercepted, and Glory launched straight into the attack.
Great noise at Amy Park as well. The Victory have played their fair share across town at Marvel Stadium, but now they're back where they play their best. Popovic in two minds, coughs it up. Straight to Basher. Didn't look forward. Toivonen expressed a little bit of displeasure about that. Wanted a more positive pass forward. Now Basher to Traore. Toivonen, look at that flick. Delightful. Cruz assessing Cam Sober's run. May not need anyone. Robbie Cruz, he looked from the boot flying in, and he must have been centimetres away from getting on the end of it.
Brilliant. In so many ways, brilliant. I mean, the laconic, deft flick, like I don't give a rat's, from Toivonen. And then Cruz sizes it up. Right, here we go. Vutric is backpedaling. I'm into the penalty area. Can I drop the ball on from the boot? If you're going to be picky, he's overhit the cross. But the lead-up is thrilling.
Did he want Nabbout to be a back post runner there?
I think he mishit the cross.
Okay.
Maybe over-calibrated the position of the presence of the defenders. Thought I better put a bit more stick on this one.
Pretty narrow. And now they can open it up to Fornaroli. He's won a free kick like that on a few occasions. Traore just cools down the Uruguayan before it got out of hand. And a different couple of minutes for the teenager Popovic, but now he can face forward and go.
It's a decent learning curve in on debut against Melbourne Victory at their home ground against a pretty potent attack, and he's holding up well.
Oh, Grant nearly stumbled after trying to take it on the full. Cam Sober just causing a little bit of tension by being in the vicinity. Forced back in the last few minutes on the boot down that right-hand side. Monday asking a lot of Meredith, and he wins a corner off Lesiotis.
And they've looked dangerous from these corners, Perth. They've built some good pressure. Some very tall players. Vutric, Grant making their way in now to the penalty area. The ultimate poacher in Fornaroli sniffing around. Economini's very handy. Also, Christian Popovic, his goal to equalise came with his head.
Grant the target here. Cruz helping out at both ends. Ensured his keeper wasn't required. A couple of chances now for Alex Grant. One that came off Paulson. That one, he'll feel like he should have at least tested the keeper. Toivonen, look at that. Finds a teammate with eyes in the back of his head. Lesiotis, Nabbout. Toivonen is deep. He's found him. What a ball. Back to Basha. Nabbout. What a move by the Victory. Can they get a payoff? He was trying to tease it towards Toivonen again. And that'll spin back in. Not out for the corner. One day able to track it down. Risky ball right in the middle of Amy Park. Paulson goes back to Toivonen. Cam Sober was goal side for a moment there. Toivonen. Easy for Reddy in the end.
Great pressure. They're looking more like it. Melbourne Victory really got the taste for it here. Survived some really good pressure from Perth. Who've contributed mightily to this game. Fabulous first half here at Amy Park. Tony Popovic must be wondering, what else do we need to do? Had some great stuff without getting the ultimate reward.
One day again in space. And his countryman, Castro, Fornaroli's on the move. Frenic likewise. Now Toivonen is on a booking, and was the man that Castro ran into. He went down, suggesting he was the victim of something untoward there from Toivonen. And because it's a head injury, the referee says I better stop things, and VAR will be tipping up whether it's a red card offence only against that man. Can't tip up a yellow card offence, can they, Harps?
No. Well, there's nothing for Chris Griffiths-Jones to report in on that one, I wouldn't have thought.
Must have just gotten Castro in the sweet spot, and he's given himself whiplash. Well, he's made himself public enemy #1 for the rest of the evening. 8 goals in 11 games at this venue, 7 in 9 against the Victory down the years. Almost halfway through the minimum amount of stoppage time, and Castro told to leave the pitch after requiring that treatment for whatever went down there. Miscontrol from Campsover. Perth have it back, and they create one last chance here before half-time. Kilkenny makes his move into the corner. Used to that, Diego Castro. It wouldn't be the first time in his career he's copped it from rival fans. Keeper can come and claim that one. Asher just went up to Diego Castro and said, what was all that about? Diego said, check out the replay. Well, the Melbourne Victory, looking to start off this good run of home games at Amy Park, are in front at the break thanks to that man's goal. The Socceroos stalwart, Robbie Cruz, on target for the first time in the A-League in 8 years. That's why we had this scoreline at the break. Melbourne Victory 1, Perth Glory 0. Let's get down to Archie.
Thanks, Speedy. Yeah, here with Bruno Ponaroli. You had a lot of possession in the front third, but again, you conceded the first goal. Is that disappointing?
Yeah, of course. I think we controlled the game, but again, another goal for them. So we have to come back now. We can't think much about the possession, or we have to create more chances and more clear chances to score.
And that's the improvement you want for your second half?
Yeah, exactly. Also, when we have the possession, we try to keep our goal in 0. No, this is the most important when we have to work hard and better now.
Okay, best of luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Andrew Naboot, mate, congratulations. Was it an assist? Was that the style you want to play against Perth Glory, the counter-attack style of football?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we focused on during the week, is especially now that Robbie's back, we've got 2 pacey wingers and a big guy up front to play off. So I've been speaking to Robbie all week, and we're fairly familiar. So I just told him, if I get the ball, just make sure you're there, and I'm going to try and square it every time. So it's the same with me. He almost squared one for me there. I just missed it. So we just got to go out and do the same.
And is that the relationship you're going to build this year, hopefully?
Yeah, well, that's what we're working on. Like I said, we're trying to utilise the pace as much as we can, and link up with the big man and Elvis in the number 10 role. So it's worked well in the first half. We just got to keep it going and hopefully snag another one.
Okay, congratulations, mate.
They're going to be hoping for more of the same between Andrew Naboot and Robbie Cruz come that second half. He runs up the tunnel and into the sheds in the lead. Melbourne Victory 1 goal to the good. We're off to a short break here live from Amy Park on Fox Sports. On the other side, I'll be joined by Andy Harper to run our eye over all of the first half action. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Welcome back to your Friday night of football live from Amy Park. The 300-game man there, Lee Broxham, his side heading to the sheds. In the lead, 1 goal to the good up against the reigning premiers, Perth Glory. Well, what a hell of a contest we have on our hands there. Liam Reddy forced into action. Some fancy footwork from Diego Castro as well. But to no avail from the visitors because it is Melbourne Victory who are in the lead. Welcome back from Tara Rushton. It's great to have your company and to be joined by Andy Harper. Well, what a contest. It was a cracking game to watch, Andy, and what an opening goal from Robbie Cruz. They're back, the trio. We finally see them in action and it is bearing the fruits already.
Well, Robbie Cruz's performance in this first half just underscores how much they've missed him till this point. It was great off the bench last week in that depressing loss from a Melbourne Victory viewpoint, but starting tonight for the first time since his return to the A-League and right from the kick-off, he was outstanding. The goal coming after a wicked cross hit in by Adama Traore. Himself, another big returner to the competition and getting better week by week. But Robbie Cruz is the man, in my opinion, around whom you can build a championship team. Toivonen, outstanding class, as we talked in the pre-game, needs help. 2 or 3 other components, but Robbie Cruz can be the difference. And this first half just showed what a difference he makes. Cam Sober is another one who's really growing in the game as well. But, you know, when you start a season and the fans are in the market for renewing their memberships and their season tickets, and the club releases a statement that Robbie Cruz is rejoining, that's a reason to sign up. And the huge disappointment with the injury that's curtailed him to this point. But everyone who's jumped back on Melbourne Victory or been re-energised by the Melbourne Victory Football Club and renewed their membership is just nothing but heartened with this first half by Robbie Cruz, because they can see a massive dividend for the football team in this season if he stays fit. Just a constant danger, a great athlete, a smart footballer, and now the score of the goal that gives Melbourne Victory the lead at half-time.
It was so exciting to watch them push forward every single time, and you mentioned Elvis Cam Sober there. He was winning that foot race against Ivan Franjic, against Christian Popovic. He was leaving them in their rear vision mirror, wasn't he?
Yes. Well, we talked about Elvis in the pre-game, Tara, about front of mind, everyone wants Elvis to start putting on an assist or scoring a goal because we think his game will go to another level when he does that. But just underneath that is the impact he has in breaking up the field. These are the words we use to discuss. And we've seen it on plenty of occasions tonight, that he's so quick over the first 2-3 metres, wins most of those duels. Rarely does Elvis Kamsoba, when there's a little ball to be stretched for or a big toe to get it with your speed to get there past the defender, rarely does Elvis Kamsoba not win that. And once that little opening, that little can has been opened, then out comes everything. And these opportunities for Melbourne Victory, it's great in prospect. We've seen some snippets in this first half, and it's because the big names are back for the first time this season together from the start of a game and firing for their club.
It's great to see the band back together. Elvis Kamsoba nearly as fast as our man on the sideline, Archie Thompson. Archie, you've got the best seat in the house. I want to hear what you made of Robbie Cruz, a former teammate of yours. He's finally started for the first time this season. His first goal back in the navy blue.
Well, pretty much what Andy said. Outstanding. He's just such a smart footballer. It's the runs that he makes in behind. He stretches defence, which is allowing Kamsoba to get room on the ball. And what Robbie's going to do to Kamsoba's game, it's only going to make that better. But you can already see that pace when they counter-attack. And that's something, Victory of old. I mean, I remember my days of when we had speed up front, it kills and it upsets defences. And Robbie Cruz, outstanding. I just wonder how long the body can hold up in that second half. But what a performance. Also, too, when you see runs off the ball, I mean, these little diagonal runs just in and around the 18-yard box. I mean, if Basher gets his head up and looks at those little smart runs, it could be a field day for him.
Yeah, we'll see how that does play out. He got 40 minutes last week, whether he'll play perhaps 60, but they definitely need him out there. Basher's been good as well. Better than last week, you've got to say. Harps, Perth Glory, Bruno Fornaroli, before he headed into the sheds, he said, we feel like we've controlled the game. Some really not interesting, but dire last-ditch defending from Melbourne Victory to stop their attacks on goal.
Very, very good. And you know, you're a Perth fan, you're Tony Popovich, and Tony Popovich has got more control over it than the fans do, but you're thinking, but what else do we have to do? Yeah. Because I subscribe to Bruno's view in large part. For big chunks of that first half, I thought they were fantastic. I said as much to Speedy. You're wondering, how have they not won games this season when you're able to control matches like this, and you've got the magic of Castro and Fornaroli really starting to, certainly on the back of last week, find his goal-scoring shoes. So the challenge is a big one for Tony Popovich. So you've got the defending premiers in the dressing room, struggling to win games, struggling to put teams away, with not really needing to change a lot. So the big challenge for Tony Popovich with this team is to keep selling the message that we will get there. You know, someone, it'll bounce off a shin or something, will score from the most unlikely avenue, which will get us going. But guys, you've got to stick with us, because from my vantage point, I'm channeling Popper now, from my vantage point, everything we're working on, holding them nicely, constricting the field, playing high, combinations are looking good, it will come if you stick with us. That's the challenge, because we see a lot of these occasions, and not predicting it for Perth, but it's not uncommon for individual players to start dropping their confidence or start dropping off the bandwagon, as it were, and they mustn't do that, Perth. They must stick together and believe that they can get through this, because they're playing well enough to do just that.
Yeah, Perth Glory are still well and truly in this contest. We do have a huge second half on the other side coming your way. Can Perth Glory indeed find their way back into the game? We'll also hear the thoughts of Victory's coach, Marco Kurtz, as well. We'll see you soon.
Yes, indeed. I'm talking to Stairs. Hello, good evening. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from the coach microphone. And I can hear you there, and I need... yes, I'm hearing something. Have you got the guys up there? Can they talk to me? Someone on the headset? Speedy going to be? G'day, Speedy. Yeah, I got you there, mate. Thank you very much. It's not Speedy. Is that right? Yeah, is that you, Hart? God. Yeah, I thought so. All right, yeah, it's all good. I'm going to hand it over when I see him. Thank you.
Hello, Marco Kurtz joins us.
Indeed, thank you very much. I've got you there.
Marco Kurtz, are you going to say, no, I can't hear him?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well.
I can say no, I can't hear you, but I won't. All right, I'll hand it over in a minute.
Okay. It's good, no? Hello, Marco. We'll come back on air in about a minute's time and talk to you then.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Marco.
Hello.
We're about 30 seconds away from chatting to you on air. Thanks, mate. Welcome back to Amy Park. Robbie Cruise's goal separates the two sides, and we can get some reaction from the Melbourne Victory now. Their coach, Marco Kurtz, good enough to join us. You've waited a long time to see Toivonen, Cruz and Nabbout start. You must be delighted with their first half showing.
Yeah, exactly. All the performance from the whole team is not too bad today, but we have to keep going. And yeah, the second half will be strong as well.
What worried you about the way that Perth were able to dominate territorially at times?
I think that's normal. They have a lot of numbers. We must change before the game with the young Lesiotis. That means we need time to development during the game. I think we must be closer between the back four line and midfield, because then to close the gaps for them. But that's a good team.
We look forward to watching that. Thanks for your time.
Welcome.
Perth Glory about to get the second half underway, chasing the game and chasing their second win of the season. They did win on both visits to Amy Park against the Victory in the last campaign. Then Melbourne went to Perth and they won in round 23. And this head-to-head down the years is really tight. 17 wins to 16 in favour of the Perth Glory. So the Melbourne Victory on track to square that ledger. Andy Harper.
Yeah, well, I mean, so many storylines in that first half, which only whet the appetite for the second, Speedy. And Perth, they really need to... Are they running the risk of getting into a rut of playing some great passing combination play and just not getting the result at the end, not threatening the goal enough? Do they run the risk of falling into a rut? I certainly hope not, because I've enjoyed watching what they do, but it's a resurgent Melbourne Victory, which is great tonic.
So as a striker, if you were leading their line, as you did back in the day, you led the line, would you want something different in the approach play, or are they going about it the right way under Tony Popovich this season?
Well, you know, it's about the system and the style and the approach they've decided to play, and it's a very methodical effort. Teams are dropping off them. They don't want to get hit over the top by Economidis' pace.
Tidy ball from Lesiotis to Nabbout. Grant goes back to Nabbout, who tried to fire it to Campsova. Then he went outside of the boot, as he did famously for a goal of the season contender, but couldn't find a teammate with that one. A goal of the season winner it was with Newcastle.
But it's not so much about Perth style, it's about some of it's about individual decisions. And there were two in that first half, really early. I can't believe I'm even going to give oxygen to this comment, but questioning Diego Castro's decision not to release James Meredith. They're in the box, early doors, who knows what's going to happen. And the other one we did comment on, when Franjic is put in by Castro, deep on the byline with a very makeable cross, but he decides to go low and he hits the sliding Adama Traore. Those individual decisions are hurting as much as anything else.
This free kick, as you can see, was earned on the darker patch of grass. They've rolled it back a metre or two here. Is Castro still interested? Dimi Petratos belted one in from similar part of the pitch a few years back now. Diego Castro winding up, and it won't be coming down in time to test Thomas. Didn't look like it had the speed to do so either.
No. With the benefit of the hindsight, looks very ambitious from Diego Castro.
Here he is again, flicking it through to Fornaroli. Back to Castro. Donachie in the road again. Shank from the boot puts his defenders under pressure, and Fornaroli backing in commits the foul on Broxham. For a moment, he thought he might have been getting fouled. Great exchange between those two. Terrific to see after the cut and thrust of that battle. Ready with composure. Perth playing it out from the back. Fornaroli found. Good flow about this move up the pitch from Perth. Popovic can keep it going. Franjic in space. Hyundai now overlapping. Back to the right back. Backing in Economides. Tricky for the defenders to deal with. Economides there. Whipped across the face. Oh, back off the post. Fornaroli. And Lee Broxham let that ball roll on past him and nearly had his pants pulled down in game number 300. Looked like he had a play at it and wasn't interested. Fornaroli had the first time strike. Here he is again. Bruno Fornaroli, you know where that's bound for. Top corner when he cuts in like that, and Donachie shut down that lane. After absorbing more pressure, the Victory push on again. Basher.
Well, there's another one of those moments for Perth Glory, and that's not about a decision then for Fornaroli. He just can't quite steer it underneath the crossbar. We saw with his goal and his disallowed goal last night, just last week, what a quality player he is, as if we needed reminding. So important for the club and the league that Fornaroli starts banging them in, and he came so close then.
Cruz off Vutric. Paulson again picks up the second ball. Toivonen back to Paulson once more. Whips one across the face, and Vutric is a very tall centre-half, and he needed his height there.
He needed it, and he needed to repair the potential damage, because it was a poor clearance from him that went straight to Paulson. Here's the ball in from Fornaroli. He thinks for all money he's scored again.
.29 goals in 35 previous games at this venue for Fornaroli. That one shaped out of play. It's a goal kick. Was that a case of Broxham facing his own goal, saying, I don't want to borrow this, it might be an own goal in game 300. I don't want that headline, because he definitely pulled away, didn't he?
He possibly lost his bearings, or possibly thought, if it is Bruno behind me, even he's going to have to do something reasonably special to score from there. Who knows? He certainly sailed close to the edge there, did Broxham.
It was Ange Postecoglou who first planted the seed in Lee Broxham's head. How do you feel about playing centre-half? I know you're 5'2", and I reckon you might be able to pull off that position. And he has on more than 50 occasions. Collected the Victory Medal last season as well as their best player throughout the campaign that ended in disappointment in Sydney, a week out from the grand final. Castro. Diego Castro, deflections all over the place, and Thomas will deal with that. Was he fouled? No. Referee letting things roll, and it's still not out of there from the victory. Here's Hyundai. Franjic now following up. Away by Lesiotis. Kilkenny gives Fornaroli another shot. Well done, young Lesiotis in the makeshift right-back role. Got it cleared in the boot in the end, who booted it to the keeper.
And the truth is, Speedy, that those pinball ricochet rabbit moments, anything could happen. And all you need, if you're a team struggling for goals, is for one of them to fall your way. But to Melbourne Victory's credit, they stood firm, resisted every bounce of the ball that came, and saw off the danger.
Corner given as Traore slid in again. Another former Melbourne City man hearing some boos. Kilkenny delivers almost over the top of Toivonen. Thomas forced to punch and keep it away from Vutric.
Well, haven't Perth has piled on plenty of pressure from corners. Really tested Melbourne's defence. Held up to that pressure so far.
Kilkenny along the deck this time. Castro hung out a leg. Yet another up and under by the Victory inside their own box. Popovic to Donachie. Fornaroli brings it down. Hyundai. Popovic switches it up to Kilkenny. Economides wanted at the feet. Trying to turn away from Lesiotis, who gives up another corner.
More pressure, good spell. Frantic defending. It's a decent recipe for some pretty compelling television.
Oh, what a ball in. Franjic into the back of Naboots. Popovic now. And Traore held it up long enough for Thomas to earn his team some respite. Straight into the thigh of Naboot.
Off Andrews Nabat. And to safety.
Perth preparing the first change of the game. Their Korean midfielder Kim Soo-byong, not too far away. Again, all the territory with the glory, but they're yet to find the back of the net. Off Lesiotis, straight to Castro. Too much on it for Kilkenny. Marco Kurtz trying to urge his team to push out a bit quicker than they have been doing lately.
Well, it's been all Perth. Just given the state of things, they've been reduced to trying to force the ball through the penalty area. Melbourne have just had enough numbers and fought hard enough to maintain their lead. But you can understand Kurtz wanting his team to assume more territory, concede so much ground.
Can't keep that one in, maybe distracted as the seagulls were flying around. One of them nearly got pinged by the diagonal. So here comes Kim Soo-byong, and it's Franjic withdrawn. And we'll see how all this shakes down, whether it's a like-for-like change. Really trying to squeeze the Victory into this corner. Look at all those white shirts, and Meredith did win it. Kilkenny in a flash found the feet of Economides. Here's the substitutes' first involvement. Kim delivers. Economides and Basher and Kamsoba combined to win it back. Cruz. He's been brought down like that. umpteen times in his career, and it leads to another yellow card.
Well, I might have missed it, Speedy, but by my reckoning, the player of the first half, Robbie Cruz, that's the first time you've called his name in 12.5 minutes. I think that sort of sums up where Perth have been, and Melbourne Victory have had complete backs to the wall. Here's a chance for Robbie to break away, and Elvis Kamsoba, importantly, was pretty close at hand, and Perth couldn't afford that attack to continue.
The boot had to stretch, trying to improvise. Leslie Otis apologised for the past. Hyundai. Oh, lovely ball. Castro around one. Diego Castro inside the area. Tricky customer. Donachie in the road again. Outstanding defender he is. Former young Socceroos captain. Kilkenny lifts it back post. Fornaroli now. Bruno Fornaroli. It was slow motion at the end of it all. And a corner has been given.
Well, clever from Bruno in the end, but Chris Economides, it's a beautiful little ball dropped in here. Economides he doesn't jump for the ball, he looks to run through it. If you launch yourself and hang, you can ping that one in. What do you reckon Toivonen would have done with that?
It is a lost art in many respects, the hanging header. And now all the way through the middle goes Grant, tries to tee up a teammate. Again, they can't clear their lines decisively. The Victory, what a touch that is. Kilkenny looks in the middle for Grant and tipped over by Thomas. Or it's off the crossbar, in fact, just the goal kick.
Well, Marco Kurtz, he can't expect his team to hang on forever. I mean, maybe they will, but he shouldn't expect it. Now they're just throwing themselves desperately, and you've got to commend the attitude. But twice they've hit the frame of the goal now, Perth, and they're going to keep thumping that goal unless Victory can get their foot on the ball. Basher and Paulson in midfield have to start lifting some of the load in possession.
The woodwork struck a couple of times now in this second half by Perth. Look at all those shots since the break. None for the Victory in that sequence. We go past the hour mark. Still half an hour of this enthralling battle to go. Kilkenny asked for the diagonal, and it's just overhit by Vutric. Kilkenny says, give it some hang time next time.
It's nigh on 70% possession for Perth, and even that overhit, maybe mishit diagonal gives Perth the chance to lock Victory in, because Speedy, Victory have shown, even from their leading position, almost a chronic inability to play through the Perth press. This is why I'm looking now at the players with this European experience brought in for this purpose. Paulson and Basher, you're the ballast for the team. We're under the pump at home. We can't get a sniff of possession. What are you doing? How do you find an angle and take the heat off your teammates? That's your preordained role.
Andy Harper throws down the gauntlet to Paulson and Basher. There's been some criticism in some parts of the Victory's recruiting of their international players. No question marks on Toivonen, but it's his second season. The others who've turned up for this campaign, Paulson, Basher, Dobras. Question marks over their head. Free kick given up by Kim. Cruz found by Traore. Seagulls scatter. Cruz whips one across the face. Meredith dealing with it at the back post. That's where Paulson has been picking up his fair share. Those second balls, and he earns his team a set piece.
Good respite. Robbie Cruz threatening again. Doesn't need many opportunities, Cruz. Paulson with a little bit of tidy work then. Good anticipation, defending, anticipating high up the field, winning the ball for your team. And now this corner.
Paulson delivers. Again, it's Vutric. It's almost like Perth depend on him to get on the end of those crosses and corners aerially. Cruz backs his way in. Donachie stayed up. Goes to Basher. Toivonen the target, you'd reckon. Tried to lay it off for Campsober. Wound up teeing up Donachie instead. And they get another corner.
I reckon Perth are fortunate that this rebound has ended up at James Donachie's feet and not Toivonen or Cruz. And Donachie not really renowned for just a little dips over outstretched defenders. Won the corner. Could have possibly been more. A touch past the defender, then a shot on goal.
Heading back in that corner count that had been dominated by Perth. They're still -4 in that category, and they work it short again. Cruz dinks one in. Away is the cry. Keeper could have taken it. Maybe Liam Reddy was trying to call one day out of it. Perth preparing another change. It's Jake Brimmer time. Oh, trickery from Traore, near post. Too tight an angle, and Vutric was tracking the run.
Yeah, and a poor option from Traore after doing ever so well to make the space, but Paulson on the cutback inside the box. Look at this. Once he's done Economidis so beautifully, goes for the near post. It's a 0% angle, and there's Paulson, the number 8. He emerges late in that frame, but he was a clear pass, and the cutback would have had a shot on goal.
Tony congratulates his teenage son on his starting debut in the A-League. Christian off, and young Jake Brimmer on. Fresh legs in midfield. Broxham again wins it against Castro. Cruz immediately got his head up, looking for any options first time. Oh, he's tackled again from behind. How many times, he says?
Well, we have seen already this season, Speedy, and I think it was sitting next to you, where one player, I can't remember who, but was being serially fouled, and it was right, that's the one, and it was the last player on the scene who happened to be his first foul, but he picked up the yellow.
Yeah. Well, there was a yellow card for the last challenge on Cruz, wasn't there, by Economidis, so Kim would have been tough to see him go into the book. Here's Cruz, played in around the corner. Naboots and Traore may have gotten each other's way there, and Reddy made a save with his big presence. That's a victory throw. Economidis anticipating contact that never came.
He's getting the stare, the Viking stare from Ola as well.
And I reckon a heart and a mouth for Economidis, thinking, I'm not going to get my second yellow for that, am I? Tough for Campsober, the meat in that sandwich against Vutric and one day. So Tony Popovic only has one more card to play off his bench. Castro played into the stride of Meredith, who let it roll, wants it back from Brimmer. Look at Donachie come across. Haven't seen this much of a commanding centre-half performance since the days of Bart Schenkerfeld in the Melbourne City shirt, I reckon.
Interesting pick up that, Speedy, because our last shot of Melbourne victory in their huddle before kick-off was not Ola Toivonen giving the team talk. It was the steely glare and the strong words of James Donachie driving the team huddle.
Mentioned that leadership at Australian youth level. He was captain of the side coming through under 17s, 20s and 23s, I think. And he's been an absolute leader alongside Broxham in the heart of Victory's defence. Another test here, though. Brimmer Deep delivery. Oh, they left Fornaroli alone. May have come off his hand. Here's the next phase for Perth. Kilkenny keeps it on that right-hand side. One day. Cruz putting the pressure on. Has to be a foul, and is. Quarter of the game to go. Here's Economides a moment ago. Fishing for contact. Straight back to his feet in a hurry.
Yeah, no problem with that either way. Well refereed. Of course, your opponents are going to be screaming for a harsher penalty, but none due.
Olsen, Kamsova not on the same page. He was just caught wrong-footed there. Victory able to pick it up again. I reckon we're going to see a seagull cleaned up before the end of the evening. That is lurking with intent. Oh, Paulson tried the trick. Meredith asking for a bit more help from teammates further up the pitch. He kept his side in possession though. Another Socceroo left back picked up by Tony Popovic after Davidson's departure. Castro cutting inside against Lesiotis, who had a handful of shirt. Now Brimmer. Fabulous defending, Lee Broxham. He stepped around just as the pass was flicked in. He knew what was coming. Look at those Victory fans bouncing, but here come Perth to try and spoil the party. Touch off Lawrence Thomas may have been handy there. It found Robbie Cruz, who just reached for his lower back there after clearing the danger.
Again, great attack this from Perth. Not a completely convincing final delivery from Meredith. And it's just falling for Victory in that penalty area. And they've been committed and diligent enough to make sure that they've got people there to assume that advantage.
Cruz trying to hold up Castro. Again, it's Donachie with the strength against Fornaroli. Lesiotis stepped in at late notice. If you've just joined us, he wasn't in the starting 11 until about 5 minutes before kickoff when young Lawton was ruled out. Storm Rue had been ruled out 90 minutes before that. Now Brimmer, Donachie on the road again. Popovic wanted a better ball in. Kamsova can't ride through the challenge of Vutric. Now the white wave comes forward again. Kilkenny and Thomas straight into the breadbasket.
Comfortable for Thomas, needed to be, because Bruno was sweating on a spillage at the massed ranks of the Victory defence. Just making sure that Perth, who it should be repeated, have hit the frame of the goal twice, but just can't quite get that really telling effort on goal.
Traore goes to Cruz. Moving okay now is Robbie, the scorer of tonight's only goal. Well, that pass was on Toivonen in space, but Vutric read the intent. Fornaroli knew he had Castro outside. Diego Castro, fabulous move. Broxham again heading clear. Look at this tangle on the edge of the area. Careful, boys. The cameras are watching. Basher and Fornaroli were going all Greco-Roman wrestling on us.
Well, video ref is having a quick chat to Alex King. Bruno saying it was just an entanglement that got a little bit spicy. Beautiful turn from Castro. Again, can't find it in the end.
You don't see tangles like that too often on a football pitch. Maybe at next year's Olympics.
Well, this is an interesting one, Speedy, because by my reading of the situation, Alex King didn't actually see what happened. I think he got worded up. But that's not supposed to happen, is it?
The fourth official could have worded him up. That's something the fourth he can give an order.
You reckon the fourth he did it?
I think the fourth he's all over it. He was scanning this pitch hours before kick-off, the fourthie. Adam Bavchar. He's got every blade of grass covered, don't worry about that. And the VAR would have weighed in and said, no red card offence, let's get on with it. And again, Alex King has excelled.
Adam Bavchar's our Hawkeye.
Risky ball. Naboot is in the vicinity. Grant remained composed. The news brimmer. Isn't Lesiotis just learning plenty tonight? Castro, Fornaroli and Economides all coming over to his side to show their tricks. Kilkenny punches it too fast for Kim.
It's a shame. It's a great opportunity. Victory. I'm not sure if this is by design and desire, but they're getting through this half without the football. Great space for Neil Kilkenny. Such a wonderful player. Really such an easy pass to make. Just overhit things and pressure valve released again for Melbourne victory.
Oh, he's just sailed past Donachie and given him windburn tonight. He was number 2 coming into the evening. Now he's plus 20. Such has been the dominance in possession of Perth. Still around that 60% mark and over 200 more passes as a team.
And on that tap table, number 3 was Hyundai.
Hasn't he had his fair share tonight?
And all players on that top passing list, ostensibly, are central defenders, you know, fanning around at halfway with it. Irritates so many people. They rack up the passing stats and make no material progress. But Perth have got the 2 of the top 3 passes in the comp and they're playing in midfield. Sort of says how Perth are setting up.
Basher was dumped. A needless challenge from Castro, and he goes into the book here. And now Cruz goes head-to-head like 2 bulls in the paddock.
Well, this is frustration building for Castro.
They're going at it again here.
Oh, are we getting the I'll see you outside, Bessard Parisha.
Pascal Boschart.
Pascal Boschart. It's a free kick, there's not a pile in it, but it's definitely a frustrated Diego Castro.
Cruz was coming back for a 3rd crack as we were watching those replays, and Fornaroli played peacemaker and said, don't bother going back to get in Castro's face for a 3rd time.
Robbie's sensing that I can wind him up here, not missing the opportunity.
Strike by Paulson to switch things up. Traore slides it through. Elvis Kamsoba, Naboot's in the middle. It's last touch off him. Andy Harper, over to you. Body shape-wise on Andrew Naboot.
Probably just got to the front post a bit too early. Alex Grant's making life difficult for Naboot as well, but there's a super run from Cam Sober. Brilliant diagonal run into the penalty area, in space.
No more passes for Hyundai now. Attacking move from Perth, as you'd expect, as we enter this final 15 minutes or so of game time.
Castro will go and play an out-and-out 10 rather than drifting, I'd say now. So 2 wingers. Economides, Chianese, Bruno Fornaroli leading the line, and Castro in behind Fornaroli.
Robbie Cruz is going to get away with that. Oh, sorry, I didn't know who the whistle was for. Couldn't hear it. He's learned a few tricks in his time away. All that experience gained in the Bundesliga and the Bundesliga 2. Teammate of Son all those years ago by Leverkusen. Oh, little nutmeg, but not completed on the other side. Basher able to keep it in. Kilkenny, a great read. Back heel came off as well for Kim. All pretty tight now. And settle for a throw-in. Perth have had more wins at this venue against the Victory than any other interstate side. 4 of them down the years. And they'll still believe that if they can find one soon, they might be able to finish all over the top of the Victory.
Well, they've had some big nights at this stage.
Early last season, it was Chris Economides popping up in stoppage time to win it. Cruz is felled. Team warning time. Andy Harper forecasted, and here it comes. I've had enough of the 5 challenges felling Robbie Cruz. Next one is in the book.
And he's gone for the small of his back again. Marco Kurtz is letting your mate the fourth in know exactly what he thinks about this hatchet job on Cruz, his main man.
The fans standing up for the victory here at Amy Park. Elvis Campsober. Oh, everyone was waiting for that to fly into the top corner. They were waiting for the net to burst, hoping that Elvis Campsober could break his droughts.
I think your sense is right, Speedy. He's otherwise so exciting. When he does manage to score, the place will explode. Squares up his defenders. It's a good recovery from Vutric, actually, to block that angle and just put that extra bit of pressure on Elvis, whose shot ended up as a throw-in.
Kilkenny switch. Chianese. First chance to run at Lesiotis since coming on. Lesiotis played it out off him and gets the goal kick.
I got one, says Lesiotis. I got one. Very clever bit of defending. Chianese was up for it. His first opportunity to make an impact here.
What do you think about the Victory yet to make a change here? Marco Kurtz, we've seen him do it before, but he's also got a team that has these veteran Socceroos. Robbie Cruz, Andrew Naboot not quite so, but soft tissue problems lately. Does he keep them out there for the 90?
I think the bigger question is on Robbie Cruz, because he's just shown how important he is. Another great touch there.
Campsober into the box, poked away by Vutric.
Good diligent work by the Perth defender. The question on Kurtz and his substitutes, I mean, the pre-game injuries to Rue and Brandon Lawton, I guess, was injured. Yet to have that confirmed, but I think he'd have to have been injured to have allowed the late change. And he's struggling for numbers, really, in the cut and pace that might be required. And then you've got to balance that again. Well, how much can I trust Robbie Cruz at this stage of his repatriation to the A-League to run out the 90 minutes? He's looking strong enough at the moment. Naboot the same.
2-on-1 situation from the corner. Poulsen has the angle now. Couldn't get it over the top of Fornaroli. Back in by Broxton. Off Basher. Lesiotis called Basher out of it. And tried to thump it in the top corner. Over, putting the pressure on. 50-50 coming up. Grant did well on the stretch. Ahead of Naboot. Slides to an offside Naboot. Elvis camps over. Don't score now, Elvis. Flags up. Don't want to waste them. He's done that before this season.
Oh, you might have to explain this one, Speedy, being the anorak for rules that you are. But Naboot's in an offside position, but it's come off a defender who's played at the ball.
No, Paulson. It squirmed straight off Paulson to Naboot.
Was it? Not the defender first, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Like I said, I knew you'd get it.
Kim. And Cruz cops it in the lower spine.
Otherwise known as the buttock, is it? Not that low.
Not that low. Coccyx. I was going to say...
You love the coccyx, Speedy.
I was going to say the small of the back. Is that the small of the back? Key and 80. Back post. It's always good when you get the coccyx into the court.
You love it. Rolls off the speed tongue.
Do not want to fall on that part of the body. Here we go. Paulson slides in. Off Meredith onto Paulson's left boot.
I don't know. There might have been another one off
Double
Meredith.
ricochet.
A double ricochet.
Can they rule on that?
Well...
You let VAR sort it out?
Why wouldn't you? Here we go. Yes.
Is he playing at that, though?
Of course he is, Speedy.
Well, he's not playing at it second time.
What's he doing, lining up for his goal check? Of course he's playing for the ball.
I'm backing Alex King in.
There's a surprise.
And the assistant.
There's a surprise.
Wilson Brown, vastly experienced, working this near side line. Victory preserving their clean sheet. Only win so far this season came a month ago in Brisbane by a 1-0 scoreline. They'd settle for it again, but Perth will keep on hammering on the door. Struck the woodwork twice. Castro keeps on going. Breaks off Naboot his way. Meredith able to deliver first time. Climbing was Fornaroli, and the presence of Cruz enough to affect the power.
Yeah, that was a climb. But he's had to jump away from the goal and try and exert even more influence on the ball. Made it difficult, but great leap from Bruno Fornaroli.
Brimmer. Out of play off Kim. Bending away from Economides. They need to get it to that guy as quickly as possible. In behind that front three. Frustration mounts for the Glory. Two-time Alex Tobin medalist. He's picked up a few votes already this season. So has Jamie McLaren, of course. Andrew Naboot, eyes are lining up. And it's caught in row J. Dropped in row J, in fact, and almost out of the stadium. Now it's becoming a beach ball.
Trying to find its way to row J in the end.
Marco Kurtz is going to make his first change in a moment. Kenny Athieu. Vutric advances. Brimmer, was he fouled? Referee says that's a diver. You might get booked, Jake Brimmer. Referee says there's an advantage here for the victory. Brimmer trying to track back. And Naboot sold Toivonen short. Castro. Different phase of play now. Oh, Castro right into Donachie, who flew him Flew to get in the road there. Dived into the path of Castro's shot. Continues to stand tall for the victory. Chianese now. And a touch gets away from him. So is Brimmer going in the book here? Well, what was the assessment of that diving moment? Listen to this reception for Robbie Cruz, the scorer of tonight's only goal so far. His first start since returning to the A-League after all that time abroad. Put in cotton wool with 5 or so minutes remaining. Ready for a derby next week in Geelong. Kenny Athieu, the new man. South Sudan international. Donachie again away. Brimmer has no one to go to on that right-hand side, so buys some time for his team. Toivonen nearly pushed Kenny Athieu over. Well done, Kenny, for keeping his feet. Given up to Athieu. Nabbout's on his bike. Goes to Paulson instead. Now Nabbout against Meredith. Toivonen is not really interested in the middle. Victory hunting a spell of possession. Into the 90th minute now. How much stoppage time will there be for them to hold on? Fornaroli was in an offside position there. That's why he didn't bother chasing. Nabbout, full-chested, ran onto it. And he got around Grant, but not Meredith. May just be a chance opening up for the victory to find a second. Chianese and Paulson pushes it out for a corner and then complains of cramp. After that most recent Nabbout run, the victory bench said it's time for another change. They're getting Corey Brown ready. Maybe just holding off to see how Paulson recovers from this.
Well, it's a great chase from Paulson, and Alex King, to his credit, is and to Paulson too, who's obliged the ref's request to get back to his feet so the game can keep going. A lot of other players might have milked that for a lot more. So I'm happy that the ref has intervened, and I'm happy that Paulson has responded so positively. Back on we go.
Brimmer, deep. Away was the cry. No touch off Basher. It's a goal kick. And Marco Kurtz, is he going to make that change? He's going to hold off. And Tony Popovic, he said this week, we're not playing poorly, but we can be better. And that might be the postscript again tonight.
We'll look at it the other way so far. A couple of minutes to go for the victory to hold on. They'll end up winning this game, virtually playing for half the game without the ball. They've offered very little in this second half. A couple of flashes on the counter-attack, yeah, a couple of moments in the penalty area on the back of those, and conceivably could have made it 2 for them, but generally they've been either content or chronically unable to get the ball in any meaningful way for long periods of the game, and they've been hanging on. Very resolute last-ditch defending.
So Nabbout drawing out his substitution. Told to head for the bench. And he gets a hand as well. The referee is adding all this time on. It'll be more than 3 minutes. Don't worry about that in the stoppage time. Corey Brown is on. He's been playing higher up the pitch in recent weeks. Now he can lend a hand to Traore on that left-hand side defensively. Staying onside, Chianese. Castro takes over again. Meredith. Chianese trying to go back to the Spanish maestro. Kilkenny tidies up. All hands on deck for the victory. Back 4, then another 5 in front of them. Kenny a few. Couldn't control it. Vutric right through. And Thomas got there to smother. Everyone held their breath at Amy Park. It was a splendid run by the centre half. Marco Kurtz, is he going to end the duck egg at Amy Park? Hunting his first win at this venue. It'll be a case of 7th time lucky. Around the corner, onside, Castro trying to go through the legs, and the flag came late against Castro. Assistant referee let it roll originally. Now we are at the referee's discretion. Marco Kurtz is saying time is up. Alex King saying get on with it. You're wasting more time. What a relief for Marco Kurtz. A win in the Milestone game for Lee Broxham. Game number 300, celebrated in style. And reports of the victory's demise have been grossly exaggerated. They climb into the top 6 after Robbie Cruz's winner. His first goal in this competition in some 8 years. They've got a great run of fixtures heading into the new year in this state, at this venue in particular. And the victory will look to start their climb now. Full time, Perth beaten again, 1-0 by the victory. Let's get some reaction now with the man of the moment. He's with Archie.
Yeah, man of the match, Robbie Cruz. How important it was for Melbourne Victory to put on a good performance tonight and get the win and kick-start their season possibly?
Yeah, it was massive. You know all about it, Arch. It's you know, football and sport in general. You know, momentum and confidence is a massive thing. You know, maybe the confidence wasn't as high, you know, the last weeks. You know, we're slowly getting a full, you know, playing squad on deck. So, you know, tonight's win was massive. You know, we stuck to the structure. You know, with the players we have, we're going to be really dangerous on the counter. And I think we created numerous chances there. Probably could have iced the game. So, you know, it's something to build on now, and you know, hopefully we can, you know, recover and you know, heading into next week, put in another win.
Can you talk us through your first goal for Melbourne Victory in a while?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a tap-in, but I'll take it, you know. You know, they all count, and yeah, for me, I've been out for probably about 12, 14 weeks with my hamstring, so you know, it's been difficult for me, but I've worked hard to get fit again, and you know, I wanted to come back with the right attitude and mentality to you know, back here in Australia, and I'm really happy, you know, with the performance, and obviously for Broxy tonight was you know, really good that we put in the performance, you know, befitting of what he's done for this club. Also, too, a few words between you and Castro. Yeah, I mean, I saw him get a yellow, so I was just probably trying to roll him up a bit more because he was a bit frustrated. So, you know, I think we nullified him really well. You know, he's a really good player, but you know, tonight we kept him really quiet. And you know, I mean, to see him get angry like that, I think it showed, you know, how much we got under his skin. So, you know, it's just, you know.